Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast, the only show you need to listen to for your monthly insight into the many wide worlds of geek culture. I am your host, Carroll, and with me are two great guests. First up, he is the previous host of this very fine program. Please welcome Ronny Diaz.
Hello, everyone.
And a very special guest, making his GBG grand debut, Mr. Mikey Gonzalez. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what? Thank you. It's about time someone actually asked me how I was doing when I introduce people. It's not great, man. Just no one cares about me. But moving on. There's actually not a lot of. There's like no movie trailers this month. About kind of weirdly. It's just kind of like a dead month. So we're gonna
dead month.
Yeah, we're gonna spare you from hearing about our blistering hot takes on the Bad Boys for Life trailer, and instead talk about one big trailer that dropped, and that was the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. Very, very interesting. A lot of it showed a shitload of stuff. This game looks fucking cool. What do you guys think of the Final Fantasy trailer?
It looks cool. Game's still in parts, though.
Yeah. I mean, I've never played Final Fantasy VII, but I really like how this game looks. I played a little bit of 15 recently, and I really liked how the combat in that game was. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Mm-hmm. I just like it's weird. I think we've talked about this before on this show, but pretty much everything that they've shown. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII, the original, either. But pretty much all they've shown has been mostly Midgard, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
gonna
what
be.
The first part of the game is gonna be about.
Yeah, you're not gonna leave Midgard
For the whole game.
That's why I'm like, looks cool, all in Midgard. That kind of sucks because the whole big thing with Final Fantasy VII or a lot of things that I hear from people like remembering Final Fantasy VII is like leaving Midgard was the cool part. People still like Midgard, but there's only so much content in Midgard that can't really constitute it being an entire part.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a two-part game or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's what they're saying, or maybe even a 3-part game. But I think that these developers they know enough to stretch this game out.
Yeah,
for a long time now.
The one thing that kept that always pops into my head when I think about this big trailer we got is just Ultra Chad Cloud just walking in with Aerith and Tifa on his shoulder.
Oh yeah.
He just standing there with this fucking dumb expression on his face. Yeah, I don't really know anything about this the original game. That dude in the suit looked cool. From what we've seen, because there wasn't a ton of gameplay in this trailer, but what there was seemed pretty interesting. The standout was definitely it looks the game looks awesome. Excited to kind of see how that goes up. Anything else interesting you guys want to talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer?
Tifa looks cool. We got
Tifa
to see actual.
Cool. Is what I would say if she wasn't wearing a sports bra. Lol. God. It's those damn SJWs.
Fucking A. Now, we actually got to see gameplay of Tifa, and it looks fucking awesome. It's yeah, she's using legitimate martial arts, or at least bare knuckle brawling, I should say.
I'm looking at the trailer right now. I'm glad that they brought back the being frogged. So that's great.
Yeah. I think my favorite tweet. I think it was an image of there was. I think Tifa at one point in the trailer is shown stomping on some guy's head, and then it was just God. I wish that were me under it.
No.
Yeah, cursed. No. Well, I didn't make it, but I do agree with the sentiment.
Cursed as fuck. God. But no, looks exciting. Yeah. But moving on, in like slightly big breaking movie news, and breaking as in this happened like a few hours ago, as of the time we recorded this. Preface: I don't know when this is going to come out, so it's probably like been 80 years. But yeah, there was an announcement by actually I don't know who exactly made the announcement. I know the CEO of Disney tweeted about it.
I swear to God, if that was the announcement, that would have been fucking hilarious.
No.
Just the president of Disney made a tweet.
Yeah, the president of Disney with a 6-pack of beer, chugging one, just screaming, "Spider-Man's still in MCU!" Woo!
yeah. As he said, that's what it is. Spider-Man. The Spider-Man deal has been that was like widely reported on being done with. Is apparently going to be extended slightly. So he's got one more solo movie coming out in 2021. Jesus fucking Christ. And one solo movie coming out, and then we'll have one more. We'll have either one more movie or just like one more extra appearance after that. So he could just show up in some other. I don't know if it's like a big if it's one of those like it has to be like a big crossover that he'll be able to pop up in, if that counts towards the deal, or if it just means there'll be two more.
I think
two more Spider-Man.
I think it usually does tend to like be like, oh yeah, that's part of the deal. Like I remember that being a big thing with Robert Downey Jr. appearing in Captain America: Civil War, like when that came out.
Yeah.
I wanted to update you, and that apparently it was both companies that announced it together.
Cool. Yeah, I saw some quotes from Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige being like, "Yeah, we're so happy that this is gonna keep happening, and we're gonna continue the story of Spider-Man." And you can totally see them like death brewing behind their eyes.
Yeah.
It just sounds kind of funny the way that they the way that they put it, where they're like, it's like Sony's like, oh, this is such a big win for the studios and the fans, and that's what we care about, the fans. And you're like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Just.
I mean, I'm happy for the fans. I mean, I'm really happy that Spider-Man doesn't end on a cliffhanger. That doesn't get resolved.
Yeah. Especially that'd be really awkward because
Can we talk about spoilers for Spider-Man?
It's been long enough, yeah.
All right, like you can't just bring back what is it?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, like you can't bring him back. You can't bring back the guy from fucking Whiplash.
J.K. Simmons?
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. Yeah, you can't just bring him back as J. Jonah Jameson and then.
I love how he was in that movie. He was basically just like Times Square Alex Jones.
That's what he. If you played the PlayStation game, that's what he pretty much is now.
Yeah, but it's like the idea that it's like an interesting like angle, like kind of anchoring that character on like a more modern. On like a more modern figure, and I kind of like that. But just the idea, like, can you imagine just like the IRL equivalent of just InfoWars playing at a giant screen in the middle of Times Square? That'd be terrible.
Able to afford InfoWars, like to play there.
Man,
yeah, it's crazy.
I have to take down InfoWars stickers all over my neighborhood because someone keeps putting them up everywhere, and I hate it. God, fuck Alex Jones, but J.K. Simmons rules. Yeah, no, like the last movie ended on like the big cliffhanger that the world now knows who Spider-Man is, and it'd be kind of awkward if they just like, because the Marvel Enterprise will keep going no matter what. If just like all the movies just kept going, and Spider-Man just like was never acknowledged again. Like, remember that big plot thread and that character that was like really important? Well, he's gone now.
Fucking Peter Parker got assassinated because
Bucky took him out. No, it'd just be weird if like they couldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad this may be the opportunity for them to kind of like give him a send off, and like maybe some other sort of like Sony characters popping up in the MCU later on. Fingers crossed Tom Hardy shows up as Venom. Please. Please. You can take all of my money, take my fucking liver. I don't care.
Honestly, I would I wouldn't even be like mad. Like, go ahead and do it. Bring Tom Hardy as Venom.
I just want him to be like, okay, the Avengers are fighting Galactus, or it's like, okay, it's like, like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are showing up, and like, oh, what are we gonna do?
It's Tom Hardy.
We've all been wiped out. It's like, what do you think we should do, Venom?
And
he's just sitting.
Tank.
He's just sitting in the lobster tank, just chowing down. You're like, oh. I'll get him with my. Don't worry, guys. Leave Jiren to me.
I'm sorry for interrupting that. Just the fucking lobster tank.
I know, right? What was that? That was awesome.
He really looked like a fucking meth addict.
He was.
Just like
that movie's so good.
Good.
There's just so many scenes where it's like he just pops in a lobster tank. He eats chicken out of the garbage for like no reason.
Eat frozen tater tots too.
Yes! Yes! He made out with Venom? What the fuck was that movie about? Nobody knows! Oh god, now we're just talking about Venom.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be. But yeah, Spider-Man in the MCU again, I consider that a big win. It's awesome. Maybe they'll I don't know, maybe this is like their chance where like they'll kill him off in like the next big event, and like they'll do Miles going forward as like a future thing.
Maybe.
But if Sony wants
to... Yeah, that's still Sony. That's like,
I know that's still Sony, but if they like hopefully that this deal is that this like extension isn't just like a let's finish it off and then we're done doing business type of thing. Although I get the feeling that might be it. It'd be kind of odd to just like remove Spider-Man on like a downer note. They gotta like find a way. I feel like they need to find a way to write it off.
I wonder what they're gonna name it.
Spider-Man Home Free. Spider-Man
Home Free. Homeward Bound.
Home.
Spider-Man 2. The quest
Spider-Man
for home.
Homeless.
Spider-Man Homie.
No, that's watch them. That's the name of the Miles. That's the name of the Miles Morales movie.
Oh no!
Please don't do that.
Spider Homie. You want a Spider Homie?
Spider Homie. Please no. But yeah. Oh well and good. Moving on. There's like big news in the Pokemon anime realm. Just note, I don't think that this is I don't think it's been dubbed yet. I don't think the episodes have been dubbed yet. I don't know, but I think it usually takes a bit longer.
Yeah, it's not dubbed
really
yet.
Fast on that shit normally.
As the time recording, it's not dubbed yet, but
yeah, okay, yeah.
But Pokemon spoilers ahead.
Yeah, Pokemon spoilers ahead. If you don't want to know about the Pokemon Sun and Moon, then you shouldn't have been on the internet last week.
or just skip to wherever.
Yeah, just like skip to the future.
It was real wild though. It was real
yeah.
wild.
So Ash Ketchum, everyone's beloved childhood hero, I think, has finally won a Pokemon League. God damn, it's about time. Fuck me.
What are you talking about? It's only been 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Congratulations. Good for Ash for actually winning a Pokemon League championship in his first year as a trainer. Wow. What bright promise this young boy has.
In his first year where he's had multiple birthdays.
No, what has it taken? Like 21?
It's 20, years? Like about 21 years,
about
21 years. It's like... He's been trying to get this one shit done for almost as long as I've been alive. It's fucking insane, dude.
The fucked up part is he's finally done it, and everyone's like, "Doesn't count."
Yes, it. People are trying to steal his win
because no, he should have been eliminated way earlier because Rowlet fucking fell asleep instead of like fainting.
Yeah, there was some bullshit pulled in that episode.
Oh god, no.
No,
yeah, like Rowlet is like fucking like fell asleep after he got hit by like something, and then they had a whole rematch.
Not Hey, don't forget the hoodie that he wore that was hit by a status-affecting attack that would have ended the battle. Only hit the hoodie and not Rowlet. And so Rowlet
I love the anime
fine.
so much.
Yeah, and so Rowlet was fine, and then the fucking ref's like, "Give me the hoodie." This look, I get what you were doing, but also, bruh.
Going by wrestling logic, if the ref didn't see it, it didn't count.
No, the ref saw it. He just didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't think about how much of a problem it was gonna.
What a hero.
Who fucking knew that if your Pokemon is wearing clothes and like gets hit by an attack, doesn't count?
That should be like a hidden ability for Rowlet now.
Fucking head.
Like shed skin.
Shed skin.
Yeah.
Except it's wearing a fucking hoodie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was some shit. How kind of got robbed?
Yeah. Oh, boo-hoo. He'll be fine. And, like,
Well, he's not going to appear again. I'm sure he will, because he's not going to be in the show anymore.
Well, he'll have a cameo. Sometimes they bring like the older characters.
Yeah. The show's not over, by the way.
Oh well, no. They've still got shit to do. But it's like they've been dangling this goddamn carrot in front of like the fans for like years. Like I don't know if I've talked about this on the show. But I'm gonna use this time that the Pokemon League is now, that like the Pokemon anime is now relative. The Sinnoh League was bullshit, and everyone knows it. Okay?
All the leagues are bullshit. Like
No.
Oh,
Okay,
no. You're right.
The Sinnoh
But Sinnoh
League's-
particularly, yeah. Like
because here's the thing. The entire Ash's entire character arc from the beginning, because fuck you. Yes, that's a thing. Pokemon has character arcs. It does. Because like every arc of Pokemon just kind of has every like story of Pokemon just kind of has like a general arc for Ash. The first arc was just kind of him trying to like just get started and find his way as a trainer. He lost real bad and he had to like get his confidence back by going to the Orange Islands. And he won there and that was great. Even though it was a little bit of a detour. Then he does better. Then of course he does better than he did the last time in the Johto League. And so like he goes back and is like, and if you like watch all the episodes from the Hoenn League after that, he's all, yeah, I'm like the best. I play super high in the Johto League. Look at me. I'm so cool with my fancy shit. I'm such a good trainer. And then he just like gets wrecked again.
Yeah.
And so he's like, there's like one great episode in particular where Ash fights this random trainer who's using like a Scizor, and he uses his Torkoal, and then he's like, I'm the best. I overcame the odds and defeated him. And Brock's like, well, technically you had a double type advantage, so you kind of like, it would have been really hard to lose that. He's like, no, shut up, I'm great. But then he runs into Drake, who was like the Dragon type Elite Four member for Sinnoh, and he just gets wrecked. He's like, I'm so good, I'm gonna challenge you to a battle. And Drake just wrecks him, just like brings him on task, and he's like, fucking like learn humility, dude. And so, but he's like, no, screw you, you're old. But then he goes to the Pokemon. He goes to like the Pokemon League, and he loses again. So he's like, oh shit, that sucks. So he has to like learn to be better about it throughout, and that's like sort of a lot of what like the Battle Frontier is about. And then all of Sinnoh was him being like, he's like more mature, more like I mean he's still Ash, but he's like a more like technically like efficient like trainer, and him just like kind of coming into his own again. But it sucks because right at the Johto League, because like they were kind of building that like, okay, this is like all the other time he had lessons to learn, but this is the year, this is the time he does it. And like I feel like the writers knew that, because then they're like, oh fuck, what do we do with this guy? We can't have him win, or because that's like the edict or whatever. So what they did instead was they're like, we're just gonna create a character. Here's this guy who just has a Darkrai, and he just like has like a full team of like legendaries, and he never loses, and he's Darkrai is just like completely undefeated, and no one beats him.
Does that sound like someone like running their like OC?
Basically, it's someone's OC. He's got like the dark cloak and everything.
Just like,
Like,
just my
ridiculous.
OC.
His name's
Darkrai, and
Darkrai and
Dark
Latios. Yeah, and so like the whole gimmick, the whole thing. His name was Tobias, and his whole shtick. It's like he came out of nowhere. You never met him before the Pokemon League, and you never learned anything about him. He just shows up, wrecks everyone with one legendary. He has a legendary, which in the anime that's like not done. You don't like catch legendaries.
Yeah.
Which is like he beats everyone with one legendary, and then like Ash is like, okay, fuck, he fights him a bunch, and then he like Ash's Sceptile finally beats the Darkrai, and he just whips out a Latios. Like, oh, by the way, I have 2 legendaries.
What the fuck?
And then he just like, so legit, you only see 2 of this guy's team. It's presumed he has more, but like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did he come from? And why is this so terrible?
Secretly Ash's dad. Let's go.
Secretly Ash's dad.
No. But it's like, and you never see him again. You never learn anything about him. It was so weird. I've gone on. Thank you for indulging my dumb, stupid Pokemon rant. And then like the Unova region basically was like, reset back to 0. It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah.
You don't need to care. But then like all of Cal, but then like they were like, oh, that sucked. Kalos League, he's cool again. Remember Ash? And so I actually watched a shitload of the Kalos stuff. That was awesome.
That was very well animated from what I remember.
It was so pretty. Actually, like the
I remember the first episode of Kalos looking amazing.
Oh, the first few episodes. Actually, I'm like, I was originally like a little bit turned off to it, but I actually super dig the modern Pokemon art style. It's so like animation friendly. Like everyone looks kind of like so like pudgy and bouncy and cute. It's like it's a very kind of like it's much more minimalist style, especially even, and I think that works well for a series like Pokemon, which has like a lot of intricate designed creatures. Is that you don't like I just really dig the way the show looks now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the Pokemon themselves, like a lot of them are now more round. Like all the starters now have like really round heads. Like like all the new Pokemon are really animation friendly too.
Actually, speaking of the art style, I just wanted to bring this up because this was leaked today.
Oh, is it the poster?
It's the poster. It's the poster with the new art style.
Well,
it's new-ish.
Yeah, we I don't really think that we need to talk about that because it's like it's not really confirmed, and so there's not much to say.
Yeah, right now it's unconfirmed if it's real or not.
Yeah, so if it like maybe if it's real and we get a little bit more information, we'll talk about it at like another time.
Okay. Like just looking at it, I think it's fine. I
also believe
it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look the poster doesn't look bad.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about the poster.
Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're already talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess. Like, fuck it. So there's this poster that that dropped on like Sarah B. I saw Sarah B. reported on it. I don't know exactly where it came from. But the poster kind of has like this cool theme going where it's like if you kind of look at it and go if you look at it counterclockwise, it's all like the regions that Ash has like been to in order. So it starts at Kanto. It says Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, and then what appears to be and like this like clock tower, which is probably going to be the Galar region because Galar is based on the UK. We don't see any new Pokemon. It's like an interesting first poster. Ash is seen with a score bunny, but also there's this
there's like a new character.
There's like this other new character. He's kind of wearing looks like a hoodie. Don't know if he'll show up in the games or if he's like an anime exclusive guy. I don't recognize him.
Off topic, it looks like he's holding like the morpher from like Power Rangers, like Mystic Force.
Oh, he's holding the Rotom phone from Galar region.
Like the Rotom. Oh god, they're bringing that back.
It's a phone now. It's not a Dex. It's a phone.
These poor Rotoms, dude.
Okay, because
Where do they get them?
Okay, because from the
They're
game,
freedom.
I actually really didn't like. I liked Sun and Moon for the most part, the games. But that Rotom Dex, man, was that annoying as fuck.
Yeah, it was the only way it would tell you stuff.
It was just
wasn't.
it just like wouldn't like shut up, and
Yeah.
it just like didn't have like a good personality.
I
don't
still
know,
think
whatever.
I still think it looks like the Mystic Force like morpher. Like it has
No.
the shape.
No, but like I'm really glad that they did this because like they've been doing it for years, and I've heard like I haven't been watching for a while, but I've heard like really really good things about the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. I hear it's great. It looks nice. There was like an interesting premise behind it that wasn't just because like Sun and Moon was like a break from the typical gym format. So I think that they kind of did basically Ash was like going to Pokemon school, so finally my man's gets an education.
And then he didn't because he decided to do other stuff. I mean, no, he does to go to school most
Yeah,
of
he
the time,
does.
right? Oh, okay.
I think at least from what I saw, like the majority.
Yeah, I know all throughout the first season he's like doing it.
Yeah, he's
I
like
mean,
goes
then
to school.
again, but I've only seen it.
Yeah. But you know, Pokemon's cool.
Ash won a league. It fucking counts, damn it.
It does totally counts.
It really counts.
Um,
Orange Island doesn't count, but
Orange Islands doesn't count. Battle Frontier doesn't count.
Battle Frontier isn't a league.
I mean, it was a season, and he won it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't a league.
I guess. Well, yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
If we're counting solely leagues, it doesn't count.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It doesn't count. But moving on from that, so there's actually been a lot of discourse on online lately about the upcoming Joker film starring Joaquin Phoenix. And it actually and so the sort of like the big news coming out of this of Venice Film Festival is that Joker kind of won top honors at it. I don't really know much about that film festival in particular, so I know Mikey, you know some stuff. So what can you tell us about that award that it won?
Okay, so the Golden Lion is the top award that you can receive at the Venice Film Festival. It started like way in like the 1930s, and it's been going on for like since like 1938, I think, or no, like 35.
What's it called?
And it's just a Venice Film Festival.
Okay. Well, no. What's the award called?
The Golden Lion.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great movies, mostly international movies, but very recently there've been a lot of movies from the US. Like The Shape of Water won 2017, and recently, the Joker won the award.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big news because, well, like Joker, this must mean that this movie's gonna be like fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Brokeback Mountain won back in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Shape of Water. Oh, Roma won it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Roma and then Joker. Okay, because I've been like aggressively curious about this movie for a while. Because originally, Martin Scorsese was on to produce it. He's not on the project anymore. They have I think Bradley Cooper's producing it now. But it's like really inspired by a lot of sort of like older Scorsese works. Particularly, I think it's taking inspiration from King of Comedy. Which is it's interesting to make that pair with this kind of like this like really chaotic character like the Joker, but it's so odd how much sort of like controversy that it's sort of drummed up before the film's even released.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who don't like. I mean, like, there's a lot of people who really don't like the Joker character, just in general.
He's a little bit of a meme.
Of course he's a meme. Want to know how I got these scars?
Gamers, rise up.
I mean, I really like the character. But there've been so many different versions that it's kind of tough to say that. Because for every awesome Joker stuff, there's like 8 Joker bruh moments.
Yeah.
But obviously, the Jared Leto Joker did not pan out.
Jared Leto. I have to write damaged on my head to let people
know. Like, I feel bad for him because it's
he put so much work and love. Like, you
so
can tell he loved being the Joker.
He was like enjoying it. It's just kind of too bad that was in such a shit film.
Yeah.
And they're like doing another Suicide Squad.
Are they?
Yeah, they're doing another one. James Gunn's making it. Margot Robbie got to keep her job, but they're bringing back Margot Robbie still. Harley Quinn, but I guess no more.
I guess
no more damaged Joker.
We should talk a little bit about that because that's like quite a few people left.
Yeah, because we're not getting. There's no Will Smith guy. I guess they did announce the cast for that recently. It's the new Suicide Squad. It's pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Actually,
Captain Boomerang's still there.
Yeah, Jai Courtney. Yeah, weirdly, because everyone's like, oh god, Jai Courtney stopped being in movies, but then he was one of the good parts of Suicide Squad. Because that movie is the first Suicide Squad is a great example of there's a good movie in there somewhere, but it's dying from lack of oxygen. It's just being suffocated by a bunch of dumb shit. Clearly there were a million recuts and re-edits, and everyone's like, well, Guardians of the Galaxy looks good. I just make it like that. Because of
and then they actually got the guy, and they were like, okay, shit, our attempt failed. We're gonna hire the chef.
But it's it was what was his name? David Ayers, I believe. Who directed the first one? He's a good filmmaker. He's made good movies. And I believe for a long time that he was gonna make a really good movie. It didn't really pan out that, this version of the Joker is not connected to whatever tattered remains of the DC universe are left. Because they don't have a Superman anymore.
They don't have a Batman anymore.
Batman. Well, they recast Batman.
Oh.
It's Pattinson, Twilight guy.
Oh, right.
I think that, and I think I've said this before. I think that's really good. He's great.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Especially after finding out he hated the Twilight movies too.
Well, he hated the Twilight movies, but he's also he's been putting in a lot of work on the indie grindhouse scene for a number of years. He hasn't latched on to a big property since Twilight, so it makes me interesting what made him want to do this. And Matt Reeves is a great director, so it'll probably be good. But anyway,
I
Joker.
Sorry, I was gonna say I feel like if you present the option to become Batman to anyone, I think they're gonna take it.
You'd be surprised how much how a lot of people don't want to, so how many people don't want to do it because it is a big commitment. You got to do 9 movies. I'm sure you get paid a lot, but
yeah,
it's they're already mega all the Hollywood celebrities. They're all mega rich anyway, so
that's
no. But the Joker movie, all the trailers have looked pretty nice. Interested to see the sort of character arc that that they put that character on. Because it's because I believe we actually get a new name for him, which is Arthur Fleck, I believe.
Yeah. It's Arthur Fleck.
Which conspiracy theory, if you take the first letter A and then put it Fleck, that's Affleck. So Ben Affleck confirmed for Joker 2.
Oh my god.
Please.
The thing is that this movie, it takes place in the 80s, right? So they have to really fuck that. Yeah, they have to really age up Joaquin Phoenix to match up in modern times. One day he's Jared Leto, the other day he's fucking.
He's legitimately. I just want a movie with them both, and it just switches from scene to scene. One day he's I'm gonna hurt you real bad, and the next day he's I just want you to smile. I would like this because of society, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, movie looks good.
Movie looks good. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's it for the big news topics. So we're gonna move on right now to, we've been here before, right? Where I've talked about there's been like it's time to do the segment, and then Ronny goes on, and then I tell him not to do gotcha games, and then he does gotcha games.
For reference, people, I've talked about them exactly 2 times, and one of them was a loophole. So I've talked about them one time. I literally asked you not to talk about gotcha games, and then you were like, top 10 reasons why Carroll should talk about gotcha games. I didn't. You're defying my rule, right? Anyways, who knows what wild things will come from this man next. Ronny's Rambles is coming up right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Ronny's Rambles in which I ramble about things. And this week, that's right, I'm changing things up. It's getting jazzy up in this bitch. Okay, cut the jazz. Cut the jazz. I know I said getting jazzy up in this bitch. But by jazzy, I meant hit me with that weeaboo shit. Let's go. That's right. I'm talking anime. In fact, I am going to elevator pitch some fucking anime. That's right. I got ideas. I can come up with those. I have a single brain cell that I put to the absolute limit to come up with this. Okay? Yeah, so I'm going to elevator pitch to you my idea for Snoop Dogg cooking anime. Okay? Okay. So, a lot of you probably don't know, Snoop Dogg really likes to cook. In fact, he's friends with Martha Stewart. And other fun fact, Martha Stewart is a convicted felon, and Snoop Dogg ain't. And that's awesome. And really fucking funny. Alright? So, what I'm thinking is, we get Kyoto Animation, right? To fucking do a Snoop Dogg cooking anime to advertise Snoop Dogg's cookbook. Okay? And each episode is Snoop Dogg making a recipe from his cookbook for one of his rapper buddies when they're in a nice, like, soft, relaxing, comforting scenario where Snoop Dogg is hanging out with one of his rapper friends and his rapper friend's like, hey, man, I'm hungry. And Snoop Dogg's like, hey, I got you. And then he starts cooking and he starts meticulously explaining all that shit. And he fucking, like, goes to town going all Gordon Ramsay on his fucking cooking and explaining in a nice, calm, soothing manner with his signature Snoop Dogg calm voice. Okay? And he's just doing that. And as I said, since every recipe will be coming from his cookbook, it'll work as an advertising campaign. That's right, Snoop Dogg, hire me. Hire me for your fucking marketing team, man. I will come up with so many goddamn ideas using this one damn brain cell I have, okay? It's free real estate. Anyway, that's been Ronny's Rambles for this week. Next week, I'm going to talk about my idea for a Tony Hawk Isekai called In Another World with My Skateboard. See y'all next time.
Smoke weed every day.
And we're back. Thank you, Ronny. Or, goddammit, I don't know what to believe anymore.
Look, man, it was the best idea ever, and I'm going to tweet Snoop Dogg about it.
Do it.
Do it, no balls.
I'll do it right fucking now.
Do it. Do it.
No,
do it.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
You don't even. Okay, here's like you don't even know. Like, you're gonna tweet him about a thing that hasn't been recorded yet.
Yes.
Plug in podcast.
Yeah, be sure to tag us if you're gonna do it. Tag us. Okay, but
This is Snoop Dogg. Here's my idea. Also, watch our podcast. Hop on, be a guest.
New episodes every month.
Imagine getting Snoop Dogg and being our
I just fucking tweeted Snoop Dogg make a cooking anime.
Oh God. So
I'm gonna be
moving on to our moving on to our favorite segment. Our favorite segment on this show, recommendations. Mikey, since you're our fabulous, what did you bring for us this month?
All right. Well, first, all right. So today, well, not today, just this month, I've been trying to watch a lot more media stuff that I wasn't particularly familiar with. Um, I'm a big giant robot fan, so I started watching the show called Macross 7. I kind of grew up with Robotech, if anyone knows who that is.
I
People,
remember Robotech.
yeah, people know who
I've
Robotech
heard of
is.
it. I've heard of it.
It's an old show. It's like a English, like English dub for Macross, the original Macross. Because of a really shitty company, Harmony Gold, they have a really tight hold on the Macross brand, so we don't get any sequels in the US. Any dub for the US, there's no release for it. You just have to pirate it, pretty much.
Fun fact. First of all, let me make it clear. We here at Geeks by Gaslight do not condone piracy. Please support the official release. Cough, cough. But yeah. No, fun fact. Harmony Gold actually did the first English dub of Dragon Ball there ever was, and boy, is it terrible. They changed Goku's name to Zero. I think that's the one where Korin was called Whiskers the Wonder Cat. I think that's where that comes from.
Fun fact: they're also a real estate company in Southern California.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, diversify your bonds. Dub anime. Sell. That's fucking weird. Wait, what?
Yeah. No. they're a real estate company.
Harmony Gold.
But yeah, so Macross 7 is a sequel to canonically is the first sequel to Macross, I think. It takes place, I think, 20 years in the future. It's the setting is in space. It's a lot of space colonies, and the main characters are in a band. They play a lot of music. They're really good music, by the way. It's actually really good. Their band is called Firebomber, and the lead singer also happens to have a fucking jet plane, mecha, that he can just go around and fly people. He doesn't fight people, by the way. He just sings their songs at them until they stop battling. Yeah. So the show is a lot of fun. The characters are interesting. The animation's beautiful.
When was it released?
It was released in the 1994, I believe.
Okay.
I really forgot Macross is about bands and idols.
Yeah.
And not just the robots.
It's weird.
So it's like Gundam meets Gem and the Holograms?
Sort. I wouldn't compare it to Gundam.
Eureka 7?
That was the one. Gem and
the Hologram. Oh yeah, no, it's like Gem and the Holograms. If you like that future funk stuff, you'll love Macross.
Eureka 7 meets Gem and the Holograms?
Yeah, probably closer. God.
I was just gonna say, I just remembered I did watch Eureka 7, but I never finished it. It never held me.
I also never. I started Eureka 7 last year, I think, and I never finished it.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you ever wanted a sequel to the original Macross, if you wanted to see how some characters are doing or how the world has changed, then you actually have the actual sequel, and you get to see a lot of those returning characters too. And there's a lot of references to the original Macross. They even show footage from the movie that came out back then. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've watched around 12 episodes now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's it like? So just generally, what's the show kind of about, other than the other than the concept? What's the kind of what's the general gist of the story?
The general gist of the story is that the band are just trying to make their way to the top of the charts. The lead singer, he just believes that his music, he wants his music to be something more than just music people listen to. He wants his music to be important, but he's also very brash and he's kind of an asshole. But he's one of those lovable assholes.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just about him, like his band, trying to get started, trying to make his band, like his music, well known to the people. The only reason he fights in his robot is so he just doesn't like the idea of conflict and war in general, and he wants to try to make his music more powerful than a missile. That's something that he sounds in the show. Yes.
Yes. You just like, I just imagine there's like the nuke. Oh no, what are we gonna do? The nuke is heading for Japan. How do we block this? Hang on, guys. I got this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's literally what happens. Like his robot, the robot that he has, it has like a Guitar Hero controller. Like
What?
the pilot, yes.
Is
It
it
operates on
powered
music?
by music?
Yeah, like he
That's
plays
amazing!
Yes. Yeah, like it's fucking great.
Fucking
He just
like-
plays Rock Band to save the universe.
the end of the world is coming. This man's fucking playing through the fire and the flames. Fucking hitting every key perfectly.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. What are we gonna do?
A weapon to
He's
surpass
mastered-
metal.
He's mastered the Eye of the Tiger. He's
A
killing
weapon to
Metal Gear 5.
surpass Metal Gear.
No. Oh god, this sounds great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So how does like the robot like tie into the band?
He just happens to have a robot. Really, like,
He just has it.
yeah, like it's just it's Macross. Like there's
It-
fire planes and singing. Like we gotta just have it.
I was gonna say, is it like a Megas XLR situation where he's just like at the fucking dump? He's like, all right, what do you got for me? Anything in the pile is $2, and he just finds the fucking robot. He's like, you said $2.
It's not that he inherits the robot from another band member who used to be in the military. He doesn't find it in a trash can. Sadly, it's a cool ass fucking robot though.
I think it's more awesome that his friend, who just happened to be in the military, got to keep one of the fucking robots.
Yeah. God. Also, since we're talking about cartoons about or like animated shows about bands, shout out to the fact that we literally let a kid show about called Josie and the Pussycats, about like a bunch of girls in like cat costumes in like basically like furry costumes, like playing music for the world. Shout out to the fact that we let that go for kids.
I never really understood the point of that show,
It's like
or like why it existed.
well, it was like based on a movie. It was like a tie-in for a movie.
No, I thought it was older than that.
Older than movies?
No, not older than movies. Jesus Christ! I thought it started out as an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh no, I think
Oh,
wasn't it like it was like a movie and then they made a cartoon. Why are we talking about Josie and the Pussycats? I'm dumb. Sorry. Continue, Mikey.
I mean, honestly, I don't really have much else to say now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find a good picture of him, like with the controller of of his fucking plane.
Epic.
God.
Sounds great. Okay. Ronnie, what did you bring to this glorious segment?
All right, so like Mikey, I've been trying to consume more media, but I've been being a bit more specific about it. I've been trying to watch more Gundam. I got into building Gundam during like Comic-Con, and I have amassed about, I want to say seven. Yeah, I think 7. 4, 2, no, 6. I've amassed 6 different Gundam kits that I've built. And so I recently finished, actually like 2 or 3 days ago. Oh my god, he really does have a Guitar Hero controller. That's just what that is.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up on screen. What a
Please.
hero!
Can you also put up the Snoop Dogg tweet? So people know I'm not bullshitting.
Fine.
I really did tweet him. All right. Anyway, so I recently, actually, like 2 days ago, finished my not my first Gundam series. I did start G Gundam, but I'm on a bit of a break from that. And in that break, I watched Gundam 00, which is the series that I finished. Not that G Gundam's bad. I think I just need to like watch the dub. The dub makes it easier for me, surprisingly enough. I know the dub's on YouTube, so But I just need to watch that.
heathen.
Fuck him. Anyway.
Mega B.
Anyway, so I recently finished Gundam 00. So to sell you on the premise of Gundam 00, this takes place during one of the 4 timelines after Universal Century. That would be Anno Domini, and generally the only things about the timelines are the split timelines, I should say, is just that they're different series that take place in the same time frame as the main timeline. Anyway, so in this one, Gundams are not common. They aren't like they're not something that the military has. In fact, actually our protagonist, who has one of the 4 Gundams ish, they're like 3 extra, but they don't matter right now. Anyway.
So there's only like 4 Gundams in the world.
Yeah, there's only 4 Gundams. There are only 4 Gundams, and they belong to a anti-war terrorist group called Celestial Being. And so the whole, at least for the first season, the whole premise of the show is Celestial Being shows up from out of nowhere. Nobody knows who these guys are, what the fuck a Gundam is. All they do know is that Celestial Being is a group that preemptively stops war and any plans to begin war. They just show up if there's any battles or anything that like can lead to war. They show up and they don't care whose side is right. They slaughter pretty much everyone there to make sure that it doesn't happen. And like at first it works out. We follow Celestial Being throughout this. At first it's working out. But then there is a point during like the end of the first season where, or maybe it was a little bit before the end of the first season, where all 3 countries do actually unite to make a formed militia. Like a united militia between all of them, and that's when shit starts going down. Because that united militia starts actively trying to take down Celestial Being. And then this is where it gets even more interesting, because Celestial Being was like the highest power.
Okay.
And then they start actually getting taken down because now all of the countries are working together. And not only that, but the other countries eventually get information on the Gundams and what makes them work. And so they start incorporating Gundam technology into their mechs. And like you really see, watching the entire thing, Celestial Being become less strong. And it makes you actually really care for them and the crew of characters that are like really good. We have Setsuna, who starts off as this like really fucking just a non-emotional, I'm here to do my job, kill the target, that's it. His like whole thing is he wants to become a Gundam. And I shit you not, he really does say, I am a Gundam, or I'm going to become a Gundam.
Wait, I thought the Gundams were the robots.
They are.
In Mobile Suit Gundam, not every mobile suit is a Gundam. Only certain mobile suits are considered a Gundam. And in every show, pretty much, yeah. So it's like whenever you see like something that like a Zaku, it's like, oh, it's a Gundam. Like no, it's like it's the real world is just like a code name for a certain kind of robot.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's like a classification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only Celestial Being has the 4 Gundam. The like 4 actual named Gundam. And so yeah, throughout the series we also see the evolution of these characters. Setsuna going from loner who just like wants to get the job done to someone who actually wants to change the world. We get to see Lock-On Stratus change a lot, and that's really all I'm going to say about that. A lot.
Mikey's snickering is that just gives me a little.
You really see him change.
Like yeah, he really changes.
He really changes. Tiara? Tiara?
Yeah, Tiara.
It's spelled really weird. Tiara goes from being this like hard ass, also slightly unemotional, like robotic jerk, to actually being like a very emotional, like caring guy. And then Alleluia, I think, actually gets the least amount of development.
Yeah, like I mean, the Alleluia.
He has like his character development is not through like him changing. It's like he's dealing with his own issues and stuff.
Wait,
Like
his
that.
name is Hallelujah?
His name is Alleluia.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah?
Yeah.
Yes.
At that point, you just go by Al.
Well, there is
There's a-
another character. There's
Yeah.
another character.
Yeah. Also, all of the names that I've like said are not their like actual names. They're
Yeah.
like their code names. They're working names. So Alleluia's name
They're
is not
stripper
Al-
names.
I think
Basically,
Tierra is actually his real name.
Tierra is actually his real name, but who's gonna believe Tierra, right? Who's gonna go
Hid it in plain sight.
right? Yeah, and it's actually also what's really cool about this series is even the side characters, like they get a lot of development too. Saji Crossroad and his girlfriend are like they become really big plot points.
Yeah.
During the second season.
I have to say that Saji's girlfriend, I'm trying to remember her name.
Holloway?
What's
It's
her
like
name?
Louise Holloway.
It's Louise.
Yeah.
Louise is my favorite fucking character in that show. That character's like story progression is like actually great.
Yeah, she really goes like in. She basically ends up at the exact opposite part of the spectrum of where she was in the beginning.
Mm.
It's really fucking interesting, and yeah, this whole show really delivers on all the ideas that it tries to present.
Yeah.
And does more because I'm not one for a lot of political stories. Like that's why it's hard for me to get into straight universal century Gundam. That's a lot of anti-war political stuff that is played pretty straight. Here it's also played pretty straight, and I don't know how it's done in Universal Century, but I was very interested in this because no one in Celestial being stupid. They're like, yeah, we know what we're doing is fucking ironic. We know that we are actively going out there slaughtering people for the sake of peace, when that is exactly what we're trying to prevent in the first place. And like you see it, you see their plan.
That's irony. I think that's more hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. I'm sorry, but you see their ideals and like actually play out. Like when you look at it, when all the countries come together, they're technically working towards peace, but then you see that the countries coming together is actually leading to more bad than good, and then they have to actually play the terrorist card straight.
Oh boy.
Damn A-laws.
Yeah, it's fucking A-laws. Because the thing is once that government came together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logically, they're gonna keep doing that. And what happens is that the governments form a anti celestial being group that is above the law. That they're doing the preventing war thing, but by slaughtering innocents and saying it was someone else doing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that they stopped it.
Who was really wrong? Guess we'll never know.
Yeah, so that's it's a lot of these interesting
either die the hero
factors.
Or live long enough to see yourself become a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably rambling at this point. Like I might not be selling the show as well as it is, but it's really fucking solid.
Yeah, I could sell the show too, by the way, if you need me to.
Yeah, if you like, you try to sum up it better than me. Yeah.
So Gundam 00, it's a story that's isolated in its own world. You don't need to watch any other Gundam show to understand the concepts.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it takes place in alternate timelines. First off, the animation it still holds up. The show came out 12 years ago.
Holy shit! Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and the animation is actually amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at some stills of.
Yeah. The show, it takes a lot of notes from other Gundam shows that they did really well, and they have their own spin on it. A-Laws being like Titans in the original Mobile Suit Gundam. The whole. Well, I'm probably not doing a good job selling this either, but
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Double strike out of the batter's box. No, y'all are doing fine.
okay,
Yeah,
but,
it's a hard show to talk about because you don't want to spoil the really good stuff.
the most important part, I think, that makes the show appealing is that this show knows what characters that we want to care about and what characters we want to see develop, rather than focusing on the whole picture. We don't see a lot of the unimportant political stuff. You just see like how these characters are affected by the actions. And I believe that the story it does a really good job of developing characters and making likable characters that we get to see. And I think that's his strongest strength. You get genuinely sad for characters that leave the show. You get like you're happy to see like characters that you haven't seen in a while return, and you get like it's just really emotional. It does what Gundam does best. And I think if you've never seen Mobile Suit Gundam before, that's definitely like I would say that you should probably give it your first watch as an introduction to Gundam.
Oh yeah, like this makes me want to watch more. And like if I'm gonna recommend anything, if you really like 00 and that's your first Gundam series, go to Iron Blooded Orphans next. It's also isolated and also really good.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that some other time. Yeah, this show also has some of the best fucking mobile suits I've seen. The Exia is so fucking pretty. It's such a good looking mobile suit. And so is the 00 and the 00 Riser. Oh my god. The O Gundam is neat because it's a fucking reference.
Yeah. So just can't get over Gundam Exia and its sweet curves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, man, I don't. I'm not saying size doesn't matter, but damn, look at that sword, though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Watch it. If you like Code Geass, watch it. Moving on.
Okay.
It gives me a lot of Code Geass vibes.
Okay, it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's this there's this little indie film series that I'm a big fan of. This sort of lesser known. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's sort of under the radar. Pretty much. I won't blame you. Stars a man named Vinay Dizal.
Oh, Vinay Dizal? I've heard of
Yeah, Vinay Dizal. It's the franchise is called The Fast and the Furious.
I never heard of Fast and Furious before.
Yeah, so last month, my sister came to visit, and while she was home, she went up to me and she's like, "Okay, Carroll, we're gonna spend some quality bonding time, and so I want you to show me every Fast and Furious movie," because she has a huge crush on Michelle Rodriguez.
Who doesn't?
Like, it'd really be. It's just like you get to see you get to see these terrible movies, and I get to watch Michelle Rodriguez be hot for a bunch of movies. So win-win-win. But yeah. So basically, all of last month was me watching Fast and Furious movies while my sister just like drank away the pain of watching these movies with me. She got so drunk during the last one, but anyway, I want to talk about this franchise because every single movie is flawless and amazing, and there's nothing wrong with any of them. Okay, so the first, let's say, 2 movies, they're like the first like the movies really start getting good at 5, even though like 3's like pretty goddamn great. But I'm gonna do my best to briefly summarize each one and then give like a sort of like big synopsis. So we start off the humble origins of what would become a somehow billion-dollar franchise. I don't know how this happened with this series of movies. It's so weird because like it starts off okay. It's just it's Paul Walker. He goes and he's like he infiltrates like this group of like street racing, I guess, bandit superheroes. Well, they don't really start off as like being like so like extra human or whatever the fuck. It starts off pretty normal where they're just like a bunch of guys who have like a they're just like a bunch of these drag street racers who go to this big they go to like this big like street racing tournament called Race Wars. Guess that name didn't age very well. But you know, they just kind of start off as these just kind of like stock generic characters. There's like the big tough alpha guy Vin Diesel, and then like the is he a cop, is he not a cop, he is a cop, Paul Walker, who's pretty good. And so the first movie is just kind of like it's so tropey and cheesy and dumb. It's like it's fun to get through. I enjoy it either way, but my sister basically had to be somewhere between tipsy and drunk to get through all of them.
That's sometimes how it be with those movies.
Yeah.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, it was like we did it over the course of a few weeks. And so the second one actually does not have Vin Diesel in it at all. It's the only one that doesn't, even though in the next one he's not in the movie. He's a cameo at the end. Which we'll come back to that. But yeah, the second one just has is focusing on okay. I should like say like the main thing about this is I have like a big conspiracy theory. Okay, everyone in the Fast and Furious movies are all gay. Okay. This is a movie about two car boyfriends. Like this is like my sister's angle, and she sold me on it. So now I'm in this theory. So Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are in love. Like that's confirmed. Because there's like the moment at the end of like the first Fast and Furious when Vin Diesel like finds out that he like betrayed, that like Paul Walker was a cop the whole time and he betrayed you, and then he's like, how could you do this? But like the love interest is Mia Toretto, Dom's sister. But like when they're like making their big getaway, first you see like Mia, but like the true like impact shot of like the emotional devastation is on Vin Diesel, where he's like, how could you do this? I thought we meant something.
I thought what we had was special.
It be. Everyone in these movies are gay and in love with each other, and it's great. So the next movie is Paul Walker, and his character meets up with Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce, and so they're ex-boyfriends who like they used to like be like running buddies, but then Paul Walker became a cop. Brian became a cop, and things were never the same once you went straight. You left me to go into rotten jail for 5 years. I don't remember how long it was, but how could you dare come back? But then they have to rekindle their romance, or their friendship, for one big job, and we're basically taking down stock 2000s action movie villain. It's like the least good one. Too Fast. It has the best name, like unquestionably. Too Fast, Too Furious. Both of them with number 2s is like the best name. Also, that one has Ludacris in it, and man, does he have an afro! My lord. But yeah. So then the third one is like the closest thing we have to like a spinoff until the actual spinoff that I haven't seen, sadly. But it's about a guy. It's just like normal high school student. I say normal. He's like this high school student. Obviously, it's like a movie in the 2000s. So he's a high school student, but he looks like 35. Like he looks like he's
he looks like he's already been to college.
Like he looks like he's been graduated, working looks like he's been like working a desk job for like 4 years and like smoking like a cigarette every day, like 2 packs a day, you know.
Damn, that hard boiled.
But he's like, he's just like, no, he's supposed to be like 15, 16 or something dumb. But this is our hero, Sean Boswell. He gets in trouble at school a lot, and he keeps getting kicked from school to school until finally he's had enough, and he gets sent to he gets sent to Japan to live with his dad, who just like crashes and just like this like weird like bachelor pad in Japan. The dad's fucking weird. But you know, he gets involved with the Yakuza. He pisses off the man known as the Drift King, DK, and he has to learn the art of the drifting because he's like this big street racer guy, but he's legitimately never heard of the concept of drifting before. He's like Drift King. He's drift. What do you mean drift? I thought DK stands for Donkey Kong.
Wait, so you're saying this guy's street racing, but he's just making really hard turns without the brake?
I like to imagine this guy only makes 90. He only knows how to make 90-degree turns in his fucking supercars.
Oh my god.
Who's the main character? Who's the main character? Oh wait, no. Never mind.
It's a guy. Is Sean Boswell, played by Lucas Black. Don't expect to. He shows up again in a cameo in 7, but he's like, and the rumors is that he's going to come back for 9, and I hope he does, because that character is a gem. But yeah, moving on to that. That's probably the most memeable movie is 3. But moving on from that, actually, I think didn't I say Too Fast Too Furious is the worst one? No, I think
this had the best name.
It does have the best name. This one might be if it's not the worst, it's like the most forgettable. Is 4, which is just called confusingly Fast and Furious, because the first one was The Fast and the Furious. This is just Fast and Furious. So it's about we catch back up. So our friend Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor, he's been forgiven from going rogue against the police, and he's joined the FBI. And so he's just like this FBI agent who's like tracking down this guy. But then this is marks like the big franchise return of Vin Diesel. Because Paul Walker's tracking down this guy, this big like crime boss. But then the crime boss, his like minion dude, like basically Paul Walker sent Michelle Rodriguez's character Letty undercover to sort of like infiltrate the group to like get intel and stuff. But she got killed real bad. Spoiler alert, she's not dead. She comes back with amnesia. So basically that movie just goes with there's this whole mystery about like, because you never see the guy, like you never see like Braga is like the name of like the big villain. And he always talk to him through like these intermediaries, so you never get to see who the actual guy is. So it's like, who is it gonna be? But then it turns out it was like the guy that you've been talking to the whole time, like the evil guy. Yeah, it was him. Spoiler alert for Fast and Furious, I guess. But no, the two boyfriends get to get back together and make up and realize why they love each other in the first place. But also this is the one that actually introduces Gal Gadot's character, because yeah, she's in these movies. Like that's what everyone knew her as before Wonder Woman, was the hot chick from Fast and Furious. So now every movie I've just talked about is pretty normal. It's pretty like kind of like mid tier. Here's where the shit gets good. Okay. I would argue that Fast 5 may be one of the greatest films ever made. Right, one of the greatest pieces of cinema in history. Because it starts off, you get introduced with everyone's just like big kind of big favorite character, Dwayne the People's Rock Johnson, where he's a man of the law and he's got to bring Vin Diesel in. Because basically, there's like this big like crime boss guy in Rio. The whole movie's set in Rio, and they basically have to steal. This is the first one that's just an out and out heist movie. It's just like a big heist where like they train all the time, and they have to assemble a team. And what's cool about that is that they basically all the people that they assemble for the team are all like the side characters from all the other movies. So like, so yeah, they bring Letty's not in it because they think she's dead at the time, but Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are playing the heist. So they bring in Gal Gadot, they bring in the guy from what's his fucking name? I just said it. Whatever. The black guy from Too Fast, Too Furious. Roman is the character's name.